Welcome again to Strictly Education with your host, Dr. Tahira. I am on location at Ghana ASCD at the International Community School here in Ghana. And guess what? I have the honor to sit with the Executive Director of Ghana ASCD, Dr. Charles Yeboah. This is an honor because he is the busiest man at this conference, but he found the time to speak with Strictly Education. Welcome to Strictly Education, Dr.
Well, thank
Yeboah.
you, and it's a pleasure, to talk to you.
This is a successful inaugural conference. Amazing. So congratulations to you and all the work that you're doing.
Thank you very much.
What are the main goals of Ghana ASCD? How did this come about?
Well, Ghana ASCD, we founded the organization in 2017 after my school had been a member of ASCD US, for some time. Earlier on in my career as educator, and when we founded our school, we saw the need for talents development, talents that will stay in Africa and impact educational outcome. And so we decided, with all what ASCD was doing in the US, it would be good to bring it to Ghana. So we were the first affiliate in Africa from ASCD US, and the purpose was really to just inspire educators and help them, to bring about the best outcome that we want to see in Ghana and across Africa.
So I had the pleasure to be a part of this from day 1 to day 3.
Yes.
I even had the pleasure to present twice at this conference, and it has to be probably one of the greatest experiences of my career as an educator. You brought educators from 14 countries here in Ghana. Why bring thought leaders from around the world? Why? Why around the world? Why couldn't this just be concentrated just in Ghana?
Well, the world is evolving. We live in a global village, as we call it. And it's important, if education is going to impact the world, that we learn best practices from around the world. So the whole idea was to convene educators, from around the world to have a conversation between Africa and the rest of the world about what we need to do to make sure that we can improve educational outcome for everybody. So I think, given where the world is going, it was just important not to have a monologue, but to have a conversation with others, so that we can learn from each other, we can share ideas with each other, and we can have an enriching conversation that will enrich educators in Ghana, but also educators who came from other countries.
So just for clarification, so I'm an educator in the United States. I'm an educator, I don't know, somewhere in the UK. I'm an educator in Pakistan. I'm an educator in Dubai. I'm an educator in Thailand. Are you saying to me that the same challenges and experiences that happen in Ghana happens all over the world? We all have a commonality when it comes to educating scholars?
Yes, we do. And I think it's emerged, during this conference. The context may be different, but the need for kids to learn in a manner that will prepare them for the world of work is common to all of us. The need, for integrating technology in education is a language that we all speak everywhere that we do our work as educators. The need to prepare school leaders for the future is something that everyone talks about in their context. And the need to ensure the students are being prepared to be powerful learners is also a concern that we all share. And of course, the wellness part, we cannot expect educators to do well with the kids entrusted to them if their need is not met.
That's right.
And so it's important that, so that's, again, is another common need. Common need that all educators around the world, have, and that we wanted a conference, to address. And so bringing everybody together, we share common challenges. The context may be different, but the challenges are common to what we do. And so that, in a way, is part of the reason why we brought people from around the world.
That's amazing. So with this particular conference, you've identified about 5 different strands.
Yes.
And so when I look at the strands, one being education for the world of work, technology and education, Leadership for the Future, Preparing Students to be Powerful Learners, Students and Educator Wellness. I want to pull out the wellness piece. Do you think wellness, both student and educator wellness, is a global concern, or is it a concern that's just right here in Ghana?
No, it is a global concern. We all know what happened during COVID.
Yes.
And, the mental health, challenge that was associated with that. And then after COVID, we realized not just COVID, teachers experience a lot of burnout. It's huge concern for everybody. It's the case, recently in South Korea, teachers were demonstrating
Yes.
in the street about the child that they have, how they are not respected by parents, and some were even going to the extent of committing suicide.
Oof.
In the US, we know how a lot of educators are leaving the classroom because of the challenges of being a teacher or an educator. So it's a common concern, and I think it is high time that education addresses the need of educators before we would expect them or can expect them to address the needs of students.
That is so true.
If educators' needs are met,
Yes.
then they become empowered
Yes.
to do the work that they are entrusted to do. And many times I think we demand so much from educators without thinking about their own needs. It's like the way we say, who pastors the pastor?
Right.
So we give so much
Yes.
as educators and often receive little. Even the professional development that we receive to enable us to do our work is always geared towards the work that we do
Yes.
and less towards our own need.
Oh.
And so it is important that educators' needs are met so that they can be well positioned mentally to be able to do their work and do their work well.
So most people don't think that mental issues exist in public education.
Yeah.
And I'm so happy that that is a particular strand, because that happens to be an area of concern, like you said, in the United States, that I've addressed even in my own
Yeah.
school district as a superintendent,
Yes.
in attending to the needs of my educators,
Yes.
making sure their mental health issues are addressed, but also to my scholars and to their families
Yes.
as well.
Yes.
Because we have to build healthy scholars, but we
Yes.
do that by having healthy educators
Yes.
as well. Are there any takeaways from this particular conference that speaks to how leaders across the world can address wellness of educators?
Yeah. I think, people that I've spoken to at the conference, everybody have said, the wellness piece was an important addition to the conference.
Yes.
People are leaving feeling, okay, somebody cares about me
That's right.
as an educator. And I think it is important that it is part of every conversation educators have everywhere there is a
Yes.
conference. That wellness piece must feature all
Yes.
the time, because if we don't address the needs of educators, they will continue to have challenges and our students won't get the best that they need to.
That is so
get.
true.
Yes.
That is so true.
Yeah.
This conference, Dr. Yeboah, is themed, and I thought this was really great, was themed Reimagining Education for the Future We Seek. Is that a call of action?
It is a call to action. The world is changing in such a fast pace we can't catch up.
Yeah.
And as educators, if we are going to develop learners that are ready for the world out there, and a world that we cannot even reimagine yet, the future, it is important that schools and education is evolving all the time. So we thought that it is important that we are thinking about education fit for purpose, reimagining education for the future we see. Now, we know the future is still uncertain, but what we need to make sure we do as educators, make sure our students are prepared for anything out there.
Right.
Not necessarily for specific things, but for anything that the world will throw at them, whether tomorrow or next year or 5 years from now, by providing students with the skill set that they need, critical thinking skills, problem solving skills, growth mindset,
Right.
all those skills that they will need to be able to survive. So we may not be able to predict what the world will look like, what the challenges will be 30 years from now, but if the kids have those skills that are necessary, they'll be able to navigate their way through whatever challenge that is thrown at them.
That's
So that is
amazing.
the reason for reimagining. So there's a need, and it's not just a one-time thing, because the world is changing all the time. So it will be necessary to come together from time to time and constantly rethink what else is happening and what else don't we know is going to happen. But just keep thinking that we cannot continue to do education the way we've done it,
Right.
to have problems for the future to solve problems for the future that we don't know.
For the future that we don't know.
That we don't
You know, when I presented, I actually shared with my group that by the year 2030, 80%, 85% of the jobs then don't exist now.
Yes.
Right? And you talked about having those skills, such as critical thinking, problem solving skills, leadership skills, and all of those skills that are needed. And I think that's just so powerful that message has been resonating throughout this entire conference. So again, thank you for that. My last question to you. What's your vision for the future of Ghana ASCD?
Well, we wanted to leverage on this conference to really start what I call a movement. We didn't want to create just an experience, but really a call to action.
It's a call to action.
Africa is really behind in so many ways, and the one thing that we have in common with the rest of the world is education, but education fit for purpose. So our goal is to leverage on what has happened this weekend and really rally people, create some movement, encourage as many people as possible to join Ghana ASCD, not only from Ghana but from around the world, so we can create a global community.
Wow.
What is interesting, there are a lot of Ghanaians living overseas, in Canada, in the US, that heard about this and came. And then of course our brothers and sisters from diaspora that already have felt a connection for a long time with Africa. And now there's a sense of purpose. I come to Ghana, I come to Africa for a reason, right? Not just for tourism, but there's something that I can do to make the continent better.
Right.
So that is what we are going to do, build on this. I'm already talking to the minister about what we can do so that all schools in Ghana and in Africa ultimately can be future-ready schools.
Future-ready schools.
Future-ready schools that are preparing students and learners for the world that we can't even see would be like in the future.
Wow, that's really, really powerful.
Yeah.
That's powerful. You know, I'm sure that there are many of my Strictly Education audience members who are watching this interview and wondering, well, how do I help? How do I support? How do I get involved? How can someone get involved? If I live in the United States, if I live in Canada, if I live in the UK, how do I get involved with Ghana ACSD?
Ghana ASD. Well, you can.
ASCD, excuse me.
You can, look for us on LinkedIn, on Facebook, on Instagram. I'm sure you're going to see a lot of information and pictures about this conference and what people are saying about it. We want you to connect with us. We want to join the association. We want you to support what we want to do, transform Africa through education. And connect with us on these social media handles and join, and then attend the conference next year.
Okay.
And be part, of what we do. Next year we'll try to plan in such a way that maybe we can build in some pre-conference, school visits, so that people can actually do some work with some schools and be able to really connect, understand exactly what is the reason why we are doing this.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah,
I think the
so
school visits could
school
be
visits would be
powerful.
very good.
That would
I
be
think
very powerful.
we should really incorporate that into it to make sure people can really get to see where Africa is at as opposed to where Africa ought to be.
Correct.
And so that when people come in, like I said, I want people out there that are considering, what can I do for Africa? What could be my contribution to make Africa better? Education is the key. Because if we can enhance education, we would have given tools in every learner would have put tools in every learner's hand that can help him or her to embrace the future without fear and concern.
Well, I think you just put the cap on that bottle, so that was very powerful ending. Dr. Yeboah, is there anything that you just would like to Strictly Education audience to know about the work that you're doing, not just here, but the work that you're doing abroad? I mean, you are doing so many amazing things in the world of education. Is there anything you want my audience to know?
Well, listen, I came from the States and was looking for a school for my daughter who was an 8. I didn't find one that I thought made her transition to Ghana smooth, so my wife and I decided we'll start one. So we started a school in our living room that has grown from 7 children to 2,300 students. And then, throughout the years that I've done this, I have realized that I cannot define my legacy successfully, or I cannot say I'm truly successful if living in Africa with all the challenges that education, challenges in education. So through Ghana ASCD, I have an opportunity to support educators to be able to make a difference everywhere they are, because not everybody can come, to my schools, but we can reach more children if we can reach more teachers and educators in Africa. And so that is, the vision, that is the way, and I want to be remembered, not as somebody who came from the US and started a school and the school became successful. I want to be remembered for somebody who leveraged on the success that he made or had in his school to impact education nationally and across Africa.
That is powerful.
That is what I want to see happen. Because otherwise, I'll be living in a bubble and there'll be so many problems out there that somebody must try to solve. And we cannot help to solve that. And this conference has been amazing to see all of you come to support this initiative. And it's going to get even better as the word goes out there about what has happened this weekend.
This has truly been the most enriching conference for me. And I'm a 30-year educator, 10 years as a superintendent. And there's so much to learn. There's so much that I want to bring back to my school community. And I want to continue to help in this global educational arena as well. And so I just want to thank you for inspiring someone like me who has been there, done it, but still realizes still a lot more for me to learn. And so I appreciate you, and I look forward to continuing to partner with Ghana ASCD and partnering with you in particular.
Thank you.
So thank you so much.
Well, thank you for the conversation. And we look forward to connecting.
Absolutely. I appreciate your time.
Thank you.
You're a busy man.
Well,
thank you so much, and this job well done.
Thank you.
Phenomenal.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Strictly Education, I am here again with the Executive Director of Ghana ASCD. I could not be more honored to be with the top person of Ghana ASCD, who is sitting right here with Strictly Education, Dr. Charles Yeboah. He is an accomplished educator, lifelong learner, and a true inspiration for the globe. I think with his vision, we're going to see a global impact, and it will impact millions of scholars throughout the world. Please support Ghana ASCD by coming out to the conference next year, or even just signing up to be a member. You can find them again on social media. I know that I am going to become a member out of my own dollars and pay for it myself, because I think this work is that important. I share a very similar philosophy. Thank you again for watching. Again, this is Strictly Education with Dr. Tahira.